Time to get up with Aaron Rodgers. The Packers superstar still mum on his future, but opening up on his mindset. Should he get a pass for where we are right now? Plus, what should the Browns do about Baker Mayfield? Pay him the big bucks right now or wait and see? And deer in the headlights. What Giannis and the Bucks must do to win Game 2 of the Finals tonight. And good morning to you. I am Ryan Smith in for Mike Greenberg. Thank you so much for joining us today. We got a lot to get to this morning, especially with Game 2 of the Finals tonight in the NBA. Plenty of football to talk about with our guys right here, our team, Dan Orlovsky, Mike Tannenbaum, Jeremy Fowler, standing by to talk some football. But we got to start with the game of the night, and it is from who is tonight, NBA Finals, and was all Suns in Game 1. Chris Paul scored or assisted on 54 points in Game 1. That's the third most in a Finals debut all time, behind only Allen Iverson and Michael Jordan, according to Elias. But Devin Booker, of course, was a big help. The two combined to score 59 points, the most by a starting backcourt in their Finals debut since 1970. Now, the Bucks hope they can get back to the free throw line, at least more than they did in Game 1. The Suns made 16 more free throws in Game 1, the second worst differential for Milwaukee under Mike Budenholzer. Here's Giannis talking yesterday about his health.
Going to Game 2, hopefully I can feel more comfortable, more confident to be, to go downhill, to make more plays. We'll see. I don't know how tomorrow is going to be, but hopefully I can be in a position that I can make more plays tomorrow.
Looking at the film, he's like everybody else. There's some things that he can do better, and there's some things that he did well, and same as our group. And I think the thing about Giannis, he always gets better.
They're going to need him to be better in order to win Game 2. Richard Jefferson now joining us. RJ, I have to ask you, when you look at Giannis in Game 1, what did you see? How did he look to you?
No, I thought he looked good. Ultimately having those games off, trying to get your rhythm, trying to get your feel back. And also there's a level of caution. And if you can go out there and put out 20 and 15, if you can go out and put up crazy numbers like that, when you're not even like in your kind of rhythm and feel and you're still testing it out, I think Giannis is going to be just fine. Is he going to be 100%? Probably not, but I think he's going to be more than just okay to go out there and have a quality series.
Okay, so what do he and the Bucks need to do to win Game 2?
Well, obviously we talked about the free throw line. That was big, but they did some quality things. The way they defended Devin Booker, he was 1 for 8 from 3. Jay Crowder was 0 for 8. So they did some very good things defensively. They have to do a much better job. And look, Chris Paul is one of the best in probably league history at getting his team into the bonus, picking up ticky-tack fouls, but that's how their team plays. And when they get to the free throw line, they make their free throws. They're one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league at, they were 25 for 26 in the game. So even though they don't shoot a ton, they did in last game, they often make them, and that's different from the Bucks. So you got to keep them out of the bonus early, and you got to keep them off the free throw line. Now when you're playing that great defense, making Devin Booker go 1 for 8, making Jay Crowder go 0 for 8, now that defense is a lot smoother because you kept them off the free throw line and you're making them shoot a low percentage.
Yeah, they only shot around 32% from 3 as a team. You wonder if that will happen in Game 2 for that Suns team. So who wins and why?
I honestly think the Phoenix Suns. I have the Phoenix Suns winning this series in 6 because they've been the most consistent team. They have been the healthiest team. But I do believe that the Milwaukee Bucks, when they get back to Milwaukee, are going to be a problem. I think that's where the series starts. I'm not saying the Milwaukee Bucks can't win Game 2, but I think for this series, it's about how Milwaukee plays at home, gets their confidence back up, and then goes back into Phoenix potentially for Game 5, and then back to Milwaukee for Game 6.
Okay, RJ, stick around. We got a lot more to get to on this series. A lot of angles to talk about, including CP3 and what he's doing, which is frankly just remarkable. But thank you so much. We'll be right back to you. But first, we got to talk about
freakish recovery from doubtful to questionable to 35 hard minutes played in his first Finals game in that Game 1 loss Tuesday. Giannis had 20 points, and that hyperextended knee looks good to me. I'm not a doctor. Here's Giannis and Coach.
Going to Game 2, hopefully I can feel more comfortable, more confident to be, to go downhill, to make more plays. we'll see. We'll see. I don't know how tomorrow is going to be, but hopefully I can be in a position that I can make more plays tomorrow.
Looking at the film, he's like everybody else. There's some things that he can do better, and there's some things that he did well, and same as our group. And I think the thing about Giannis, he always gets better.
As promised, we welcome back Monica McNutt. Giannis said his left knee felt stable and free of pain after Game 1, but the pressure will be now on his shoulders for the Bucks to avoid a 2-0 deficit. What does the two-time MVP need to do for his team tonight?
Well, Gary, he made those comments after the game. I'm wondering what it feels like 24 hours later, if there's any soreness that has set in, and what treatment he's been able to get. But if he's able to go, Giannis, you never question his energy. He had 20 and 17 the other night. I expect his production to go up on the offensive end. But honestly, I'm looking for somebody on this Bucks squad to be more of the defensive catalyst. Yes, Giannis wasn't necessarily featured in that pick and roll action as much as Lopez, but somebody has to have some swagger, some energy, some intensity. Hey guys, we have to figure out a way to stop this pick and roll, and in general, clean up the glass and finish possessions with the defensive glass. So I'm actually wondering if Giannis, as the leader of this squad, can step in and help this team get it together on the defensive side of the ball.
So whether he can or whether he can't, we'll see tonight. Who wins?
I expect this to be a much better basketball game, Streisky. But I am going with the Phoenix Suns. I think Chris Paul is locked in and loaded, and he talked about it. That team thing is real. I've continued to maintain the 3 C's for me about this Phoenix Suns squad: confidence, continuity, and character. Like, they've just been the same squad and the best squad throughout the entire playoffs. I think that continues at home tonight.
All right, teams that take a 2-0 lead in the finals have an all-time series record of 31-4. Monica McNutt joining us this morning on SportsCenter. Thanks again.
In the studio.
Jim,
Keyshawn Johnson. What's up, Keith?
What's happening? I just was wondering, how can you not stop the pick and roll? It's been around since basketball's been around.
The only thing that stops the pick and roll, Monica, is bad offense.
I'd like to suggest a podcast called The Pre-Show.
Yeah.
The Pre-Show.
I don't
No,
think Disney
paywall,
would
you don't want
approve.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
By the way, are you going to sign that book for me or not?
No, I'm not signing the book.
So I brought in Keyshawn's first book, and I enjoyed it. I consumed it literally, in a couple of hours.
Yeah,
So much I enjoyed
it's a short read. It's not
I enjoyed it that much, where it was like one of those where I wanted the story after story after story. And I brought it in. I thought it'd be nice to put on the coffee table along with my book, one of my 5.
You can put it on the coffee.
And I want you to sign it, though, so that,
Do it again. One shot. Oh, come on. Let's coordinate, guys.
There it is. I need that still shot.
Look at the back, though.
Actually, there are some great pictures in there, too. But I wanted to sign it so when I'm long gone, I can still prove to people that I knew you. Well, we never know.
How you want me to sign it?
What's your name?
Dear Han.
No, not dear.
What do you want me? How you want me to say it?
It's 1943.
What do you want me to say?
Dear.
Thank you for being a great colleague of mine. I like you. You like me. We work together at ESPN. You were like, what do you want me to say?
Just sign your name. How hard is
Sound
that?
effects.
Because if I just sign my name,
Sign
you
it
might
like
go put
Kobe
it on the
showed
second
you how to
market.
sign your name. That's all.
You might go sell it. I don't know.
What's wrong with that? Our society is
I'm gonna sign it for
capitalistic.
you. You don't have a Sharpie, so I'll wait to do it.
Here.
But we're going to put it on the
I have
coffee.
a
I'm not even taking it
beautiful
home and
blue
leave it on the
gel
I'm
coffee
gonna
table.
hit him with the Sharpie.
Like, you guys aren't represented. I got Jay's book. I'm working on that next.
I
And
don't
it should be
have
on the
anything to
coffee
do with
table.
Jay's
I'm
book.
gonna
I'm just
pull up
saying,
the
it
page.
should be on the damn table.
We're dealing
I
with
mean, who
mine.
are these people? Who are these books that we got other than mine?
You're off mic. I'm gonna pull a page out of my
you're
journal to contribute, just so y'all know.
But prior to us getting to sports, I'm gonna just tell you something about my weekend real quick.
Okay. Rant
Since
time.
I've been gone, no, real talk though. One of the reasons I have a problem with New York and stuff like that
Oh, here we go.
is the traffic is ridiculous. Like the traffic cops and the police and all that, they cool.
Welcome back, Captain Obvious.
But seriously, I went through the tunnel coming from Jersey yesterday, got all the way to the bridge in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm. You came from Jersey, went
Holland Tunnel,
across town.
Yes.
Got to the bridge, which is
like a block,
few miles
a
from
block
here.
from the bridge.
From the bridge.
Yes.
So you got all the way across
Off
town.
of Chambers, like literally
Yeah.
right there.
Okay, and then
They turned me around, made me go all the way back to the damn West Side Highway, all the way across, back around, I forgot what street, to get across Broadway,
what happened
to get to the
bridge?
FDR.
What was going on the bridge?
It was a parade in the middle of the city, in the middle of the day. And I had to go all the way around. It took me about an hour and 20 minutes to get back to the Brooklyn Bridge when I was already right there.
You didn't roll down your window and say, I'm Keyshawn?
No, I wasn't. I just rolled with the traffic.
All
I
right.
rolled with the traffic. I wasn't really tripping. my whole point real quick, though, is why would you have me go a block to the bridge to turn me around?
Right, that part didn't make sense.
Like, it don't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, when I got off the damn tunnel, you should have simply said, hey, you can't go that way, sir. By cones, by the people in the street doing the whole sign. No. They let everybody go that way to turn us around to send us back the other way. I had stuff to do.
What is your rant window? How long are we gonna hear about this?
No, we're done.
No, it's not even. It's just it's just ridiculous though. And Han always talking about people hating on New York.
Hey, it was a parade for the first responders.
That's cool. I respect all that. That's good. First responders get their parade. That's cool. Yay. But you just wasted an hour and a half of my time because you don't know how to navigate the traffic flow in the city. It has nothing to do with the first responders. It has something to do with the traffic control.
Yeah.
Whoever is controlling the damn traffic. Whoever sits there on a map saying we should do it this way.
This is how we should lay it out.
Yes.
Right. Well, that would be incompetence.
So damn stupid.
Which we have an abundance of with the city. If you've ever paid attention to just how the roads are laid out to begin with, I can go an hour about the Cross Bronx Expressway and the Major Deegan and what that whole fiasco is about. But we won't do that because it is time to start the day by talking about the NBA Finals. And we are headed for Game 2 tonight. Start the day brought to you by Indeed. Hiring, start finding the right people right away. Visit Indeed.com/credit. So talk to me, Key, about what you've seen so far. Game 1 from the Suns and the Bucks. And, we did our irrational takes after one game. And Monica believes the Bucks are better without Giannis. And I feel like the series is over.
I don't know that the Bucks are better without their star player, even though Brook Lopez a couple games ago had a phenomenal playoff run for that particular game. I don't know that can be on a continuous basis, right? You got a star player. Look, when you say what about the game, the three-headed monster. I mean, DeAndre Ayton, board city. He was cleaning the board with Windex, right?
Yes.
I mean, all day long. Then you got young Book knowing how to cook, and then you got Chris Paul, the veteran player that just knows how to play NBA basketball. When you don't necessarily have that on the other side with the Milwaukee Bucks, and that's one of the problems. They certainly would be a better team if Giannis was 100% healthy. Hats off to him getting out there and playing. There's no question about it, and gutting it out. You always want to see star players or players in general when something happens to them at the level it happened to him, because that looked like something that could have been really, really bad.
Even he said it. Even he thought he was going to be gone for a year, and the fact that he was back and able to play, that was, again, tip your cap, and that was impressive. And you like to see it at this level, at this point, and of course from a guy who's getting the Supermax, whatever it takes, I want to be out there for my team. But
it's also one game, and it's also Phoenix at home. They're playing
the momentum
at home.
of the crowd. I completely understand.
Different.
But Monica, what you were talking about, though, when it comes to Giannis returning to the lineup, the Bucks did look different than they did. Drew Holiday wasn't the same guy. Brook Lopez, obviously, again, in the pick and roll. Things were different with that team. So when you say, when he's out there, they're a different team, is it necessarily, are they a better team? Or did they show us something in those games they played without him?
I want to clarify because I think he might have missed it. Those were our irrational takes. They are absolutely a better team with Giannis. Let's not do that. However, they are a noticeably different group in terms of what they can and cannot do. It's interesting, Key, that you talk about Giannis being 100%, and we'll see. I think the quick turnaround from games 1 to 2 will reveal a lot in terms of what that knee really feels like for him. But he did have 20 and 17, and I wouldn't call them empty stats. I think what we saw is the Phoenix Suns take the first punch and connect. Like, the Bucks just got hit in the mouth early, and they never really recovered. Because I actually thought Giannis looked solid. I think in the second half, you could see that he was, rhythm was a little bit off, missed some games, stamina, and maybe that knee was getting a little bit gimpy. But I don't know if, I was thinking last night about strategies, right? They're not going to be able to flat out stop this pick and roll. You hope to contain it, to make it a little less easy, right?
You can't give up 118 points.
Right.
They don't miss free throws, you can't foul them.
So, okay, but there's a couple things simply for me on the Bucks that the Bucks can adjust offensively. They only shot 16 free throws compared to 20 or 34 rather for the Phoenix Suns. Mm-hmm. So free throws to me is a measure of aggressiveness. So they got to look to get some second chance opportunities. They got to own the glass, easy points in the paint. They want to get to the free throw line, see the ball go through the rim, right? But when I think of Brook Lopez in particular, if you're going to feature him, especially in those moments where Giannis is out, you make it worth him being on the floor if he's being effective on the glass and if he's scoring offensively. I think you live with maybe that mismatch in the pick and roll if he can do those things for
Well,
you.
I don't know that he could be effective on the floor with Ayton out there though, because he don't have the same
But
lift.
but he can. But as much as we loved Brook Lopez going back to traditional basketball and getting in the paint, he shot 37% from three during the regular season. So let's not completely forget that pick and pop because DeAndre's not coming all the way out there. He's going to contest some, but there's still versatility to Lopez's game if you decide to feature him.
Yeah, but in terms of the pick and pop and him knocking down the three, 37%, can he be consistent in the playoffs, though? Yeah, 37% in the regular season. How about right now in the finals? That's the key.
That's fair, but I'm saying I think he's still shooting mid-30s in the – I'm going to look it up – in the postseason.
Playoffs, yes.
In the playoffs, excuse me. I'm saying if you go to Lopez, we're trying to figure out how to keep Lopez on the floor. So let's not forget about that part of his game is what I'm saying.
It's the defense that's the issue because Lopez
'cause
obviously can
everybody's talking about
stretch
the
or he can
defense.
post up, which is what he showed us when
but he
Giannis
can't
wasn't
play
out
deep.
there. That's
Gravy
right.
boot.
As a team.
Switching. Switching was the
the
issue.
whole thing.
We'll see if they adjust. That's been the question, of course, about Mike Budenholzer is the adjustments, and we'll see if they can make that adjustment
Budenholzer, he can't get out
in
his own
Game
way.
2.
He's
NBA
in the
Finals
finals.
on ESPN Radio. Tune in tonight. Game 2, Suns host the Bucks, presented by Indeed. Coverage begins 8 p.m. Eastern on most ESPN radio stations. Jay Will's going to join us later on in the show, go deeper into Game
Wake
2
up, Jay!
tonight. Meanwhile, coming up, somebody has been listening to what Keith thinks about one of the NFL's future stars. Swagger jacking, happening all the time. We'll explain next. Keyshawn, J. Will, Zubin, presented by Progressive Insurance, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and of